Hey, all you fucks! You wanted the best! Well, the best couldn't be here. Live from the No Holds Barred dungeon, it's Guns and fucking Roses!
It's Guns, I'll know what you are.
How was that for an intro?
That was pretty sweet. I don't know who Guns N' Roses are. I know the gun is here, but are you Roses?
I guess I'm the Roses.
Okay. What does that mean?
I don't smell like roses.
No, apparently you smell like shit because you were farting all night.
I was fucking farting all goddamn night.
Kept you up.
Exactly. I honestly think I farted a couple times so hard that I woke myself up. But in any case, this is episode number, we believe, 26 of the No Holds Barred podcast.
Sounds right. I lost track after 20.
Yeah, me too.
The podcast, it left home. It started drinking. We can't find it anymore. It comes back once, like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, just whenever it needs money.
Yeah.
All right. So we believe episode number 26 of the No Holds Barred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a fun fucking show for you tonight, today, whatever.
It's sometime.
Exactly. We could have potentially had our very first ever in-house guest today. Unfortunately, I didn't get to him in enough time, and he was working today. But we actually hope to get him on for next week. So that would be great. And It'd be cool. Our first ever in-house guest. We've never had one in-house before. We've had guests, just haven't had one in-house.
We can work around the schedule.
Exactly. So, we'll figure something the fuck out. We'll get him on here. It's going to be exciting.
For sure.
And one other thing I wanted to point out. From the last podcast, we had someone in our chat stream, I think, whose name was That Wrestle Guy.
Yeah.
Or like Wrestle Guy 1 or something like that. I finally found out who that was.
Who?
See, I thought it was Cody Nodding. And we
Right.
kept calling him Cody Nodding.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Cody Nodding. It was Dylan Gorman, a.k.a. Dylan Sharp, a.k.a. UCW and one-time TCW wrestling talent.
Right.
Wow. So you know what? That was very interesting because he came up to me at the Twin City Wrestling Show, which we're going to talk about, the show that went down on November 2nd. We're going to talk a little bit about it. So it's No Holds Barred, but it's got a little bit of Last Man Standing in there too. So we'll give you everything that you guys love. It was Dylan Gorman, and we got to have a little bit of a conversation. Kind of stemming back to that whole like first interview that we did with Doug and Mark Maverick and everything like that. So it kind of stemmed back to that, and we just kind of had a chance to talk a little bit about that. And we've had conversations too about this whole like UCW versus TCW thing. That chances are we kind of built it up in our own heads.
We kind of did
we
little
we
bit.
We were the marks on that one. We were the marks on that.
We heard a lot of stories back and forth about it, and
Absolutely.
we kind of made our own opinions. Now at the last show, Doug Martin was there.
Chuck
Martin. Sorry. Doug Martin.
Martin.
I'm putting two names together on that one.
That'd be a terrible.
That would be bad. That's just horrible.
The combination of those two guys,
and his ring technician was there also.
Which
we'll get to that because it was a great help.
Yeah, Wiener, right on.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. I got to shake his hand. He was a real good guy.
Yeah.
So I think we'll take this opportunity on behalf of both of our podcasts and on behalf of ourselves to kind of, just squash the beef a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
there'll be no down talk
exactly
anymore for UCW.
We're gonna be getting rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
While I don't think either of us are still really huge fans of the product, we're just not gonna make it a focal point anymore.
Now TNA.
TNA. I will shit in TNA's foul little mouth until the day that it dies. But any wrestling fan with taste will also do that. So that's fine. But even though Nick is wearing his TCW hat, we're still big TCW fans, obviously. But we're not gonna shit on UCW anymore. Although they have done some terrible things in the past. Now, that's the last thing we'll say. So let's get on to what the people actually came here for, which is us kind of shooting the shit.
Okay.
I see we have a viewer in the chat stream whose name is Thunderpin. See, you people keep coming up with these new names and shit. None of us can identify you. So Thunderpin, thank you very much for being here, and please let us know who you are. Big thumbs up to you, though, for showing up. What's new, sir?
What's new? I said back a couple of podcasts ago that I put in for a membership at the Liverpool Fire Department, the Volunteer Fire Department, because when I was living in the city, I was in Halifax Regional Search and Rescue for about 9 years.
Yeah.
Were
you really there that long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right
yeah.
on.
Next year will be 10 years, but I won't be active for 10 years, so I won't get my 10-year plaque.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I might. You know, there's always good possibility for that.
Right. Fair enough.
And I moved down here, checked out the Liverpool Search and Rescue, a bunch of old guys.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just it's not what I'm used to.
Right.
So I put in my application for Volunteer Fire Department.
Cool.
And yesterday I got a call, got voted in.
Nice.
Got my pager.
Nice.
Got a key to the building.
Are they going to let you carry a gun?
It's fire department, man.
Hey.
Seriously?
All you got to do is you got to pick one fire, shoot it, and send a message. Jesus. No, that's really cool though, sir. I'm glad that you got voted in, and because that's always nice too. It's always nice that you can like walk up and it's not one of those things like, hey, can I be a part of the volunteer fire department? And they're like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they actually had to deliberate on it and vote you in, and that the fact that they did, very cool.
Most definitely. And I mean, I'm excited to learn. It's just getting to go and helping out on medical calls and fires, actually putting out fires and helping the community. I mean, that's a big deal.
Absolutely, for sure. We've established that Thunderpin is in fact Cody nodding. So hi, Cody. We're waving. I'm waving.
Hi.
Now we're both waving. All right, right on. Sweet. What's up, Cody? Thanks for stopping by, bud. Yeah, and you also had a little bit of news from your day job, basically. The job your
my day job.
Yes.
Oh yes, I have gone on split shifts
Okay.
at work, meaning I go in the morning. I come home for about 4 hours in the afternoon, which is nice. I can come home, cook a full meal, probably get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I did before, and go back in. Which is really awesome. I have been enjoying them.
Nice.
The only bad thing is later on in the evening is when the Best Buy students call in.
Okay.
And they're quite new and they don't know much of anything. So,
ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. Headaches, but still pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of break up what is like an 8-hour day, like 4 hours, then you go home for 4 hours, then you're back in for 4 hours, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's nice to break up an 8-hour day with kind of a 4-hour in between. Like you said, you can come home, cook a full meal, pop a movie in, have a nap, whatever you need to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, if I ever got shifts that long at work, I would enjoy I would enjoy a situation like that. Nice. Excellent.
What's new in your life?
What's new in my life?
Yeah.
My life is just a pile of action on top of a pile of money with many beautiful women. No,
it must be action. You're still in your
I'm still in my pajamas,
crap.
man. I am.
If that's not action packed, I don't know what is, man.
I'm telling you, mile a minute. Jesus. Still in my pajamas at 2:45 in the afternoon on a Saturday, which whatevs. It is what it is. We finally, and this is a nice postscript to something that I've talked about so many times on this podcast, but it finally, like, our dreams came true. Fucking Christmas came early. We finally hired somebody.
That's nice.
I did. I can see the look in your eyes there too. It fucking blew your mind.
I know.
It's
like the day actually happened.
Exactly. Like
Hell froze over.
I've been talking about this shit since May. Like, it's been a long ass time. But yes, we finally hired. We've hired two actually. I believe we hired two just for seasonal, obviously, so only around till probably middle of January. Mm-hmm. But like just enough time to get the holiday season over with, the returns over with, and all that jazz. We hired a nice younger woman named Angie. She's older than me. She's probably mid-30s. But yeah, we hired Angie. She's worked in the mall before. She's worked in retail before. It's awesome. This is her second job.
Right on.
And she's great. She's picking it up super, super fast. And I guess we've hired another girl that I haven't gotten the chance to meet yet. But we finally hired somebody. And like, I've been on my boss's ass for months. Like, all the things that have happened to us and our coworkers at work, like just the one girl getting married and then getting sick, and another girl going on a long vacation, and just vacations through the summer and everything. It's like, you have to hire. Please, God, hire someone. And she waited until November to do it, but we finally got somebody hired. So, hooray! Maybe 5 of us don't have to run that store, which would be very, very nice. Plus, we got the girl coming back from maternity in January, so that'll be good too. Aside from that, I've talked a couple times on the podcast about my kind of struggles with food and with snacking and overeating and things like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have to say I had my first junk food related relapse in about a year.
Did you?
Yeah, it happened last night because we got virtually nobody for Halloween. Like we're used to getting between 100 to 160 kids, like consistently every Halloween.
Well, that Halloween night wasn't the best night.
It wasn't.
To go out.
It wasn't, but there have been worse that we've still gotten a lot of kids at. We got literally like 40 this year. We got nobody.
Wow.
So all this Halloween candy's been sitting around, and I didn't have that temptation last year because we only bought enough for the actual kids that we got.
Right.
So it wasn't sitting around all year last year. But unfortunately, not all year, but after Halloween, you know what I mean. But unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of kids this year. Ergo, a bunch of Halloween candy sitting around the house. And last night I got home from work and I was just like, oh, fuck it. So I ate like a bunch of those like little bags of chips and little chocolate bars.
Once you
and
open
stuff like that.
one, it's just like it
gets
addictive.
It's fucking impossible.
It's almost like there's a prize in the bottom of the friggin' bags.
Or the chips have cocaine on them. It's there's something in there that you can't eat just one little bag. So I literally ended up eating like 10 little bags of Cheesies and like 3 or 4 little bags of Doritos and stuff like that. So I'm just like, but a funny thing happened. And like, yeah, it sucks that I did that because I was doing so good. You know, I'd over a year without any like huge relapses. You know what I mean? Like the closest thing I could say that came to a relapse was when we watched WrestleMania because there was all those bags of chips.
Right.
But even then, I didn't eat a ton of them. But this was really like my first like real relapse. But again, a funny thing happened. I felt terrible. Like I just felt disgusting, and not in I kind of said this on Facebook, not in like oh woe is me, oh God, why did I do this to myself?
Right.
Not in that way, but in like just physically, I just like, oh my God, I just feel fucking terrible.
Well, your body's not used to it.
No, exactly.
I mean, you're weaning yourself off of something, and then you put excess of it in your body, and it's
then
just
like
going
oh
to be, what
God.
the fuck are you doing to me, man?
Exactly, and it was just like, boom.
I mean.
And that leads into the whole farting thing. Like I was farting up a fucking storm last night. And like I think that's why I woke up so many times through the night is I was farted so loud I woke myself up. But like my goddamn room just stank to the fucking high heavens, which is good on a night like that I sleep alone. Because anybody else would have just been like, ah.
Yeah. Crack the window.
They probably I would have woken up.
Put a hole in the wall.
I would have woken up. The person would have been fucking dead. This would have been like, oh, I guess I got to find another one. No, but so so I did that. But then again, I felt terrible, and I kind of see that as a step forward, which is cool because it's a step forward towards changing the mindset, so that just I know that like, I know I won't do that again, or I'm so much less likely to do that again because of the way that it made me feel. And I just felt just gross, right? So, it sucked that I kind of relapsed, but at the same time, I can pick right back up. It's not like a drug relapse or anything like that. Like, it's just like, oh my God, I need this or I'm going to die. But so it's something I can pick back up, and I know I'm much less likely to ever do it again.
Well, that's good.
Awesome. So we have been joined by another viewer in our chat stream, Rodney Broom. And Rodney is saying something about having a cool
announcement for TCW.
Let's see. I'm just going to go back up to the top here. Let's see. That was Cody.
So before we go any further here, let's talk about Remembrance Day, because it's coming up soon.
It is. It is absolutely coming up
soon
on Monday.
And not many people, or a lot of people, have forgotten the meaning of Remembrance Day.
Some of them seem to, kind of based on this whole, based on seeing like the rise of this whole white poppy.
Yeah.
The white poppy kind of movement. I had this down here for a little bit later in the show, but we might as well tackle it now because it's happening very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's, for people that don't know, don't know about the white poppy movement. Basically what it was is it started in the 20s.
Right.
The whole idea behind the white poppy being like, well, the red poppy symbolizes that it's like stained in the blood of the soldiers that lost their lives and things like that.
Yeah.
The white poppy is trying to put forward this idea of peace and no more wars, and they take it a step further, saying if you wear the red poppy, you're silently consenting to whatever military action your country is currently involved in, and B, you're glorifying war.
Right. Which I don't know. I mean, the white poppy is, of course, the peace poppy,
yes,
like they said.
Mm-hmm.
The red poppy, when it came out, in Britain, I do believe it was.
Yes. Britain, Ireland.
Britain, yes.
Somewhere. The UK. We'll call it the UK.
It was for Remembrance Day.
Yes.
And I believe it had printed on it, "No More War."
When it first came out, that is what it had printed on it. It did have "No More War" on the black part on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't get. I mean, I'm totally fine with the white poppy, being the peace poppy per se, and the "No More War," but the red and the white go hand in hand. Kind of. It's kind of like one's not different than the other.
Right.
And some people are trying to say that they are.
Yeah, they're really trying to make it something divisive. Like they're trying to make it something that something separate, like to separate the two of them. Like one is good and one is not. And it's it's not the point. The point of it is like I can sympathize with the concept of the white poppy because like peace obviously is a great concept.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like the red poppy encompasses what the white poppy is trying to say. And I don't think it glorifies war. I think that's kind of an asinine statement, to be perfectly honest. But I'm not going to persecute somebody for wearing a white poppy. I just have an alternate suggestion. The suggestion would be to wear both. Wear the red poppy and the white poppy. Juxtapose them against each other, and I think that's a more powerful message. Because by wearing both of them, if you want to wear the white one, I'm not saying don't wear the white one. I'm saying if you're going to wear the white one, also wear the red one. Because you can't argue that the red one is tradition. And it's the prevailing tradition. And you don't intentionally upset people. Don't intentionally piss on a benign tradition that isn't intended to hurt anyone. It's intended to show remembrance and show that you care and show that you haven't forgotten about everything that soldiers have done for us, whether you agree with the military conflict or not.
Right.
That is, to me, is secondary. If I would have been alive at the time, I would have vehemently disagreed with Vietnam. But at the same time, you have to understand, whether I agree with it or not, Vietnam happened.
Right.
Or is happening.
Yeah.
And there are people over there losing their lives. And I'm not going to intentionally disrespect or intentionally not pay proper respect to the people that are over there, whether I agree with the conflict or not. I'm going to actively disagree with the conflict, but at the same time, I have to understand the practicality of it. It's still happening. So I would say just wear both of them. It doesn't hurt you to wear the red one, because it's an asinine statement to say that the red one glorifies war. Somebody put this on Facebook. One of the guys that was on used to be on Dragon's Den.
Yes.
Like the Brett Wilson, I think. He put a post out there on his Twitter and on Facebook and everything like that, which basically said, saying that the red poppy glorifies war is like saying that the yellow poppy glorifies cancer. And it's like, that is actually a pretty damn good analogy. Like, it doesn't glorify war, guys. It's you're showing that you remember, and you're showing that you care. You haven't forgotten about this shit that happened. Whether you agreed with it or not, it happened. Mm-hmm. So I would just say wear both. But I like the concept behind the concept of peace. Right. Obviously, we're big fans of the concept of peace.
Most definitely.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think they're going about it the right way.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Let's just say wear both.
Yeah, wear both. Wear your poppies, folks.
When Remembrance Day comes around, go out to the service.
Please.
Pay your respects. Maybe, I don't know, if you don't want to get a wreath, you don't have to.
No.
But just go. And yeah, for all the men and women who've risked their lives.
Exactly.
Over the countless years and the number of wars. We'd just like to say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just thank you very, very much for everything that you've done, and we haven't forgotten, nor will we. All right. Well, enough of that somber note. Let's make some dick jokes.
Well, I don't know if we got dick jokes.
We probably not till a little bit later. But we should announce here, I guess, what Rodney Broom put in our chat stream for the next Twin City Wrestling show. And I guess we might as well get into what happened at the last Twin City Wrestling show, but we'll get into this first. Sure. Rodney Broom, one of the founding fathers of Twin City Wrestling, Smart Mark Alley, and one of the biggest TCW fans that we know, is going to be making his in-ring announcing debut at the Twin City Wrestling show on November the 16th.
That is big news.
Round of applause here for Rodney. That is huge news.
We also got some more news for that show, which is you. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this,
right?
And I can't work that show,
right? I
can come and set up, and I can come to tear it down, but I have obligations with said fire department,
right?
You're going to be taking my throne for the night.
It looks that way. I guess I'm going to be running the audio and probably not video, because there's not exactly a place to set up video there, but the audio for sure. So I guess I'm going to be up running the boards and making sure the mics work and running everybody's music and just having a grand old time. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be taking Nick's spot for a night, and I get to I guess since I'm going to be running the audio, I get to fuck with Rodney, which will be great. No, it's gonna be a fun show. But let's talk about DJ Jazzy Robar, exactly. Let's talk about the last show just a little bit. Man. We're not really going to talk about the actual show itself. The actual show itself, once it got going, was fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally fine.
Absolutely. But it was in the getting there That's the story,
that
dear
is
Muse.
The story.
That is the story. So, of course, Twin City Wrestling had their second ever show in Blockhouse. That was on November the 2nd. It was a Saturday. And really, like, I only come into the story about halfway through. Like, you really start the tale. So, why don't we start with you basically from the minute that you got there?
From the minute I got there. I got there around 1:30. Nobody was there yet.
Okay. And once again, let's just preface this by saying we're not blaming anyone for the shit that happened. Like, we're not.
It's just a funny story.
Exactly. It's just
we're not blaming anybody at all.
It's not like TCW was the first ever wrestling promotion to have trouble starting a show. Like, it happens. Sometimes it happens. So, it's just a funny story. So let's go. Go, fire away.
So the trailer was there with the ring. I go, okay, I'll just wait here for somebody to show up. 2:00 rolls around. Somebody from the fire department showed up. I go, okay. Mm-hmm. I got the keys. Got in the hall. Went upstairs. Set up some chairs because the chairs weren't set up yet.
Okay.
Go, okay. Waited. Maverick was the first one to show up.
Right.
Which was cool. We shot the shed and everything. Then the boss showed up with all the gear.
Okay.
And he was bringing it in, and I was like, whoa, smaller speakers. He goes, yeah, it's a smaller place, so I got smaller speakers. I go, okay, fair dues.
Okay.
So I took everything up. If you've ever been to the Blockhouse Fire Hall, there's the open area, and then there's kind of like a deck that you can go up on.
Right.
And that's where we decided to set all the sound gear
because
it was out of the way.
Right.
So I took it upstairs and I started setting everything up. And I took a look at the back of the speakers, and the connection to the speakers was it was a regular speaker cable, but the regular speakers that we rented, it was the female end that went into the speakers, not the male end.
I see. Yes.
And the soundboard also takes the male end of the cable.
Ooh, okay.
So
the two peripherals take the same end.
Yes.
So that obviously is an issue.
It is when you don't have cords like that.
Fair enough.
Okay. So I go, oh crap. Run downstairs and get the boss.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't use this. He goes, well, can you jury rig something up? And I'm like, I'll try.
Right.
So I was rummaging through some boxes upstairs because they got audio gear and everything up there.
Right.
I'm just like, this ain't gonna work. Shit.
Yeah.
So I text you in a frantic. I'm like, Justin, you home? I need to run home and get my soundboard.
At this time, I'm down in the mall, just hanging out with a friend of mine who was working, and I get a text from this kid going, "Can I come to the house and get my soundboard, the one that we use for the podcast?" So I reply to him, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not home, but I'm down in the mall. If you want to pop by, pick me up, we'll run up to the house and get the soundboard." So he said, "Okay." So we did that. And we came here and we got the soundboard, and then Nick takes off back to Blockhouse. I stayed home because I was going to come to the show later. So we get the soundboard, you take off back to Blockhouse.
Yep.
Continue.
Okay. Go to Blockhouse.
Exactly. And then
I set up all the equipment. It's working fine. The sound is fine. It's awesome. I had the laptop plugged in, projector going. And then the laptop bings. And I'm like,
okay.
7% battery left.
Uh-oh.
No, before that. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Before that.
Right.
Because I'm missing a part of the story here. I have this jumbled up in my head.
Right.
Before that, while I was setting up all the sound equipment, the guys were in the ring. Just bouncing around, having a grand old time.
Exactly. Getting themselves warmed up.
Tim, Julius Fantana.
Right.
Goes and takes a run to the ropes and just bounces off on his back.
Right.
The top rope snaps.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're like, shit.
Oh, no.
Shit. What are we going to do? Luck would have it that Chuck Martin and his ring technician were sitting in there while the guys were practicing.
Right.
I'm not sure why, but I believe Dylan Sharp was there also. So,
yeah.
I mean, that would make sense.
Exactly.
But anyways, his ring technician helped splice together the rope, and they just moved the bottom rope to the top, and vice versa.
Exactly. If you've never seen someone hit the ropes in a wrestling ring, basically, very infrequently are you using the bottom rope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the real vital ropes are the top two.
Yeah.
So as long as, if your bottom rope is a little wonky, you can get away with it in most cases. So they took the top rope that snapped, moved it to the bottom, took the bottom rope that was perfectly fine, and moved it to the top. Problem solved.
Right. Problem solved.
So big ups there again to Chuck Martin and Wiener for being there to help them do that, to help them jerry-rig that, because without that, there's no show.
And then the laptop banged.
Right.
7% of battery life yet.
Okay.
I go, well, shit, I didn't see the power cable anywhere. Ran down, get the boss again. I'm like, boss, where's the power cable? Goes, well, it's in my truck.
All right.
It's in my truck in a Sobeys bag with the digital cameras and shit that I'm going to record the show with. I go, okay. We need it.
Yeah.
So he sent somebody out to get the power cable, and we got it upstairs. I brought it out of the bag. It was missing the little adapter plug on the end that goes into the laptop. It's one of those cords where you can plug different size adapter heads into it.
Yep.
And we were missing the plug.
Okay.
While we were trying to find a plug that could probably fit the laptop, it dies.
Otherwise known as needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to find the needle in the haystack, the fucking barn falls over.
Yeah. So laptop is dead. Nobody has any music. There's no videos. There's nothing. All we have is microphones.
Yep.
Shit.
Well then.
So at this time, the show is almost ready to start.
I think by that point, I thought the show should have already started by then, which means the people should have been inside about a half hour ago.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
They were just getting the ropes switched at this time.
Right, exactly.
Also.
Yeah.
So I go, oh shit. I bolt downstairs, open the door, just like, Rober, executive meeting now.
Which was fucking great, because my part of the story is I show up to the fucking show. There's only maybe 4 or 5 people in line at this point, 2 of which were Rodney Broom and his wife. I think they're married. So Rodney will be able to tell me. He's in the chat stream. I'm pretty sure they're married. So they're there. And I show up. They're the only people there. And we're kind of talking. Our minds are totally fucking blown that Chuck Martin is here. Because we see him come out from in the building and we're like, what the fuck? Why is Chuck Martin here? Because at this time we're still like, ragafragging. So we're like, what the hell is he doing here? So we're having this conversation. And by the time Nick comes down, and there's people going in and out of the building just constantly. And we're just like, why can't we come in yet? Why can't we come in yet? Why can't we come in yet?
Yeah.
And I didn't think to text you because I figured something's going on in there. He's probably busy. So,
oh, man.
So
you don't even know.
Jesus Christ. So I didn't text him because I'm like, they'll figure it out. No, don't worry. So yes, Nick bolts down the stairs and I just hear him yell, Romar, executive meeting now. So I go up to the top. I go up to the front of the line and we're talking and Nick asks me what kind of laptop I have. So I'm like, I had to think for a second. I was just like, it's a Samsung, I think. And eventually we make the decision that, well, first I come in.
Yeah.
And we're like looking at stuff, and it's like, do you think this will fit this? And this is what the situation is and everything. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, holy fuck. Okay. So we can go back to my house, back to Bridgewater from Blockhouse to get my laptop cable so that we can plug my laptop cable into the boss's computer so that we get music and video.
Yes.
Take it.
So we went back to your place, got the laptop cable, basically feuding all the way there and all the way back, which was comic relief for me because I mean all the stuff that was going on, I needed it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. This guy was about to blow his goddamn top because he's just like, we're just in the car and he's just like, fucking Jesus, fucking Christ, fucking. And it was like
laptop. Seriously.
That was the big joke. The whole ride back was just like there would be like a moment of silence, and then one of us would just yell, "A dead laptop? Are you fucking serious?" It's just like, and it was therapeutic, especially for this kid. It was just like, I'm gonna get all these bad feelings out by just letting loose in the car.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? It was great. It was great. We had to do it. We had to expunge that from our fucking collective being. So we go and we get my cable.
We got back. Cable doesn't fit. So
son of a bitch.
We're still out of a laptop.
Exactly.
Nobody has music. Except I have my phone.
Right. Yeah, so Nick's got his, we'll put it in front of the camera here, LG Optimus G.
So, and everybody that's coming out is either getting
with a broken back.
Oh yeah, anybody who's coming out is either getting a Disturbed song, a System of a Down song,
Kill Switch
Engaged, or Linkin Park.
Right. And we're like, okay, well, you know what? Everybody's just going to have to live with it.
Yeah, you know what? And I think I did a pretty good job on it.
Exactly. And then, but then R&R, the R&R Express guys are like, well, we're fucking country. Like we're like country, not Hicks, but like we're trailer park boys, right? Like I mean, we need fucking country music.
Yeah, and one of them I got their music what they wanted to be, but the other one it was just too hard to switch phones.
Well, yeah, exactly,
and not make it sound like shit.
Yeah. So we're working on cell phones.
Yeah, we're working on cell phones, and then. And then, the $800 piece of equipment, the only thing other than the speakers that we were using that was rented,
right,
did not reach the ring for wireless signal. It was not the batteries. The batteries were fine. It wasn't the channel. The channel was fine. It wasn't the way that I held them. It doesn't matter if I put it in the air. It doesn't matter if I put it in my shoe. It didn't matter if it probably would have mattered if I stuck it under the ring because that would have probably worked.
It probably would have worked, maybe.
But why the hell would I do that?
Exactly. It's not where the rest of the fucking equipment is.
No.
So why would we do something like that?
So, the first two matches, the announcers in the ring yelling.
So, Rodney, this is what you have to look forward to.
So, in a week. While the in the ring yelling at the wrestlers to come on out because we didn't have music, we didn't have anything, because I was running around trying to jury rig a wired mic together.
Exactly.
Which the fireplace there, the fire hall. All I can say is they saved our butts.
Thank God.
I mean, because they had a whole bunch of wired mics upstairs. I was able to plug like 2 friggin' long cords together to make it reach the ring. It really saved our ass.
Right on. So,
yeah, and that was the last thing that went wrong for that show.
Exactly.
And I was so glad, because if there was one more thing that would have went wrong, I just might have had to go to the ring.
Pull me into it.
And do something.
And DDT me just on principle. Yeah. So that is Running a Wrestling Show 101. And again, it was nobody's fault, really. It was just a series of unfortunate events that all just piled up and all just happened at once. It was one of those, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong kind of things. And that sucks. Like, it's not good at all. And, yikes. It's just, it was not good. But that being said, the bar is set extremely low for next week. And next week's show is going to blow the second show, or the show from November 2nd. It's going to blow that show out of the water. So everybody needs to get their tickets, get in line when they get there, get their tickets, get into that show, and see that show. Because the show is going to be excellent. They're going to be defending the world title on that show. You're going to have real great talent on that show. You need to be there. You need to see it. Again, even if you're only a casual wrestling fan, that's the place you need to be on November the 16th.
Absolutely. And also, buy tickets for the November 29th show in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
Exactly.
Because afterwards, there's going to be an after party
there's
at the Rodeo Lounge.
After party at the Rodeo, who now have new owners, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's where the after party is going to be of the November 29th show. And get your butts out to see that, too, because that's going to be excellent. So anyone that's listening to our podcast from Halifax, Dave Pellerin, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, get out to that show. It's going to be a great show.